for the God helmet, so there's a couple different ones. Let me pull this guy's. I got the shit right here. The God helmet was a Hindu guy, like a Indian guy. Let me pull this up. And they actually made another version of it called the Shiva helmet. Let me pull this up real quick. Give me just a second.
The God helmet.
Yeah, so what the God helmet is, just to give everybody a rundown real quick, the God helmet is a device that is basically, it's based on the principles of the gateway process. So basically what the gateway process is they play binaural beats and in both, so you have to have stereo sound and they play binaural beats at different wave patterns on each side, left and right side, and it basically engages both sides of your brain at the same time and shorts your brain out, which gives you basically an out-of-body experience, or you go into what they call the absolute, right? And the absolute is basically, the best way I can explain it is like a well of souls, right? It's you know, purgatory basically is really what it sounds like if you're a Christian person, right? It sounds like the idea of purgatory. So, and this is stuff that's been documented. This is in a CIA document that I can share if you guys want me to, like a declassified actual CIA document.
That's
That
it,
they
I kind of don't like the sound of that, man.
we
Like,
are
like
all about
that,
the documents.
yeah.
Right.
So
No, I mean the documents, yes, but
And John,
here,
maybe
I'll share the document.
and also John, maybe not specifically for today, but I do have this deep dive available here. It's the Gateway Process, a deep dive. So there's that as
Yeah,
well. Maybe,
dude.
maybe when you go and
Go ahead, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
when you go
No, that
and eat
was
with
my
the
bad.
fam, when you go and eat with the fam, I might show them this, and we can then sort of like, you know, make that the. I like you to say your points, get all your truths out, and then afterwards we can go get the documents and double verify. I do like it like that when a video backs up what you say, so we could then fly into that
Yeah.
after.
So the guy behind the God helmet was Dr. Persinger. But the Gateway Process was a government operation that the CIA was running, and the CIA and the U.S. military. So what they were doing was basically, like I said, playing the binaural beats to, hemi-sync your brain and basically short it out. It's a simple way of putting it. And that gives you a ethereal experience, right? You go into the spiritual realm. And they said they were able to predictably recreate a scenario where they went back to what they call the absolute. And they said that when you went back to this absolute, you could interact with other souls. And then it gets really fucking crazy. They were saying that in the absolute, souls choose their path, right? So like a soul chooses to come down and have AIDS, right? A soul chooses to come down and get his fucking head chopped off by an Arab, right? Or so on and so forth. Like all of these hardships that people go through are actually this soul from the absolute projecting its destiny onto you, kind of. It chooses to suffer, right? So
John,
the more.
John, sorry to jump in on you
Yeah?
like that.
No, go ahead.
You're so right, because look, there is no time. Time is an illusion, okay? The past, the present, and the future are all happening
Time
at
is an
one
illusion.
time.
yeah.
So if you're in this soul well that he's talking about, this place where the souls dwell, you will be outside of the constraints of the space-time continuum. In other words, you will not live under world time, and you can literally see the future. You can. What he's saying is, people that come down from this fucking spirit realm or whatever, they know what's going to happen before they get here.
Yeah, and they choose that path.
Yes. Sorry to cut you
And
off.
basic. No, you're fine, brother. We're all good. And basically, the way I understand it, the way they explained it is the more mature, or the more let's say like the higher level, right? The higher ranking souls. It kind of has a little bit of elements of Buddhism in it too, right? So like the higher ranking souls choose the harder paths, right? And it's the immature souls that come down and choose the path of wealth and riches and so on and so forth, right? And basically, the more mature the soul gets, the harder the path it chooses when it comes down to earth. And that's kind of like if you know a lot about Buddhism, that's kind of what the thing behind Buddhism is. You keep coming back, reincarnated until you get it right, and then finally you reach nirvana, to where you don't come back anymore. You just you stay in this well of, this ethereal realm, or what the CIA calls the absolute, right? So what these people are doing is they're trying to basically interact with and usurp God, right? This is the new Babel, right? What we're dealing with now is the new Babel. We're dealing with a digital version of the Tower of Babel now, right? These people are building these things, developing these processes to go in and interact with
Yeah.
deities and
Right.
basically enslave them, right? And I know that sounds a little grandiose, but what I mean by that is they use them as a tool, right?
Yes.
And as opposed to venerate them, you know, and so on and so forth.
This is it. So without these slaves that John's talking about, we wouldn't have an iPhone. Yeah? You get these people, they do these little fucking paedophile LSD fucking MK Ultra trips for fucking 15 hours or whatever. They come back and they've got the documents. That's how it goes. And now they're making things and they're inventing things. And all of these things that they're inventing are the future housing potentiality for a demonic insurrection into our world. I know it sounds fucking far-fetched, but this is what they're... Guys, these people write PDFs after PDFs after PDFs, and they get declassified years later, and we have the fucking documents. This is what it is, not fucking around.
Well, it's the
Crazy
Black
stuff.
Mirror, man. It's the fucking Black Mirror. It's the Black Mirror, dude. It's the Black Mirror.
Yeah, that
That's
shit's
what
a lot
the
more.
fucking cell phone is. It's the Black Mirror, man.
That
what are you
shit,
staring into?
yeah.
You're staring into a fucking Black Mirror, man.
The abyss.
That's what it is.
So that link I just
Right.
sent in the chat, Weston, that is actually some of the actual Gateway tape recordings. If you want to play some of just a little clip, you know what I mean, so people can kind of hear what it sounds like.
Absolutely, we're going to do that. I've got to open up Telegram. Give me a quick second. I hope this don't crash. 1 second while I get myself fixed up. Please don't crash. But yeah, this Gateway thing is not just us having fun with some weird stuff. Like, this is very fucking real, guys. So there have been different people involved in this thing at different sort of eras. Like here, Painter San a minute ago. I mentioned the name. I forget it now. Bob Monroe. That's it. Bob Monroe called it the Source.
Monroe, yes.
Exactly. You got others that call it the.
Yeah, I know about him. Yeah.
Oh, we've also got. Oh no, sorry, never mind. I thought we had 4 people. We've got my face on the screen. All right, give me a second. I'm just getting this Telegram shit loaded. Sorry, Telegram's a bit of a nightmare on this computer. Come on, man.
Telegram's a nightmare anyway.
Yeah,
On or off the anywhere you go, Telegram's a fucking nightmare.
So, shall I read this? Shall I read this post? Or is there a video on here?
No, it's the audio clips. You want to play those audio clips. So there are audio clips right there. Those audio clips right there are the clips that is literally what they play. These are the binaural beats and stuff like that they play in your head to get your brain to like hemisync or whatever it is they call it.
Now, remember, guys, as well, we had John C. Lilly going into sensory deprivation tanks and using dolphins and even sexualizing the dolphins to exacerbate the intended results that he wanted to get. They were sharing dreams with dolphins. That was what the game was. That was what the MK Ultra sort of thing was about with that one,
Yeah.
Now, this is the similar sort of field here. This is all connected, this stuff. These are the sounds I used to play. Now, sorry to pause it, but did you notice that sound has a lot in common with when you spend a bit of money and someone takes you to some getaway retreat spa, and it's all very quiet, and there's massages and warm stones that people put on people's backs and stuff like that. This relaxation music was handcrafted by these intelligence agencies. That's what it is, Anyways. John and Spy, can you hear this, what I'm playing, yeah? Because I hope the settings are correct. You can hear it?
I can't hear it, but I don't need to hear it. I've heard it before. I know what they sound like, so
Right.
I'm not really worried about it.
All right, well...
Weston, what do you think about ASMR, man? What do you think?
It's a part of mesmerism.
Yeah.
It's a part of mesmerism. That's what it is. MK
That's
Ultra,
what I
that
think
kind of
too,
thing.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, ASMR
And
directly
so
plots into
this-
the Lily stuff with the dolphins, Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just wondering. Yeah, I was just wondering what your take was on that, because like I've seen a lot of people getting into ASMR, and then whenever they do get into it, they really fucking get into it. So it's like it really does become like a drug, right? You know, and so like you talking about it being a mesmerism, yeah, that seems to be what it is. It's a spell casting kind of thing, using audio to do this. Now, audio is one of the most powerful forces in the world. You know, I mean, if all of us that are Christians, we believe that God created the world, well, created everything because he spoke it into existence.
Yeah.
Right? So everything that we speak, everything that we say creates things. It creates it's a creation method. It's a creation method. We speak something and it puts it into existence is what it is.
Words are spells,
Right.
brother.
So
They're spells.
ASMR I think does this, but I think it does it on a very fucking like fleshly level, right? You know, it's more about like sexual stimulation and shit like that rather than a spiritual edification,
Yeah.
right?
Shout out, by the way, to Nazarite 1776. He says,
Yeah.
wow, we've got some characters in here today. God bless you, Nazarite. Good to see you. White Rabbit Radio as well. White Rabbit Radio.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
How are you,
WWR.
brother? We need
What's
to
up, White
quickly.
Rabbit?
I need to show this
Fuck
to
yeah.
White Rabbit Radio. Just bear with me 2 moments whilst I just get this configured.
Yes.
We need to show this, man. So,
Hey,
White
Tim,
Rabbit
it's
Radio.
Fashcroft. Good to see you, man. I hope all's well with you.
God bless. So, White Rabbit
Tim
Radio.
Murdoch.
We've got our buddy Tim with
Okay.
us. Now, Tim, the goblins, the gargoyles, they're not happy. The SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Centre, they're not pleased. They're doing up little graphs and everything. So, we've got Black Pilled. We've got Jesse Dunstan, Azamador, No More News, Western Paradigm, JFG, The People's Square, White Rabbit Radio, the whitest rabbit you know. This is where we're at, boys. So, Tim, I don't know if you saw this, but SPLC, they've missed a few names out, and I don't think the graph is entirely accurate, but that is irrelevant at this point. The point is that we have a bunch of kites kvetching. Oh, dearie me. You know, I told the SPLC, you know, I'm not just going to eat my neighbors. You're on my list too. I'm coming for you. I'm going to be eating them all. ADL, SPLC, NAACP. You're going down to shoot. So yeah, this is what's going on, White Rabbit. Great to see you, and thanks for support, brother. Great show the other day as well.
Ooh,
We
I
had fun with that.
love that. I love what he's saying. Everything starts with a sound, and a sound is vibration. H. Avenger via Follow the White Rabbit 2009. Yes.
Banging.
Yes. Everything starts with a fucking sound.
Banging.
And that's exactly right. That's exactly right. God started with a sound.
The word.
And he said, let there be light. And there was light, right?
Mhm.
You know.
So we also have Paint a Sand. He says there'll be underlying tones in that music/sound. The frequency usually cycle down the desired state. You will start in alpha state, and as not to confuse your brain, and then flip between the delta and the theta for a while. I've got a clip I'm going to show in a minute that exemplifies this beautifully. He says you can't go straight into theta or else you'll go to sleep. Right. I have the exact clip to exemplify what this man's on about with some vintage red pills for you chaps in a moment. I'll just get the link up now. We've got Desert Ghost as well. It says, woo, let's go, Dono Train. God bless you, brother. And thanks again, by the way, White Rabbit. Yeah, we are working with vibration. That's what it is, you know. Working against vibrations from the nations that shouldn't be nations. They should be wandering Jews. They're creating many vibrations.
Well, I mean,
You know.
what was it that Tesla said? He said, you know, if you want to understand the universe, understand it by frequency, energy, and vibration, right?
Yep.
That's
He did. That's what he said.
that's exactly it. Yeah.
I've got a clip I'm going to get up for the boys whilst we're doing this, but let me close this one quickly whilst I get here. I want to show. Let me close some tabs. I've got too many tabs open. It's causing me stress. Stanley Coren. Maybe you'd like to go into that a little bit, Fashcroft, with the Coren helmet, the God helmet. You know, who he was and what that was about, because. There's many different people in this field. It's not just one guy. Like, you know, it's not like this one Aquino cat that runs the thing. There's some different sort of. I mean, look, for example, Michael Persinger. You know.
Yeah, that's what I
Stanley
was gonna
Coren.
say. Yeah, because that's who I know from the God Helmet thing is Dr. Persinger, right?
Yeah.
That's who all the stuff I had come up with. So, basically, what the God Helmet does is very similar to what the HemiSync thing with the gateway process does. So basically, it runs off of electromagnetic field, right? So they basically send small current through these basically electrodes that are attached to this helmet, and they create an electromagnetic field around your head that basically, once again, shorts your brain out and gives you this out-of-body experience. Very, very similar, if not identical, to the gateway process. And you can actually buy one of these fucking things for like $700. But what it does is it gives subtle stimulation to the temporal lobes. It's through small electrical currents. God help us. I'm trying to find exactly the exact terminology here, but that's basically what it does. Is it fucking creates a magnetic field around your head. You wear this helmet, and it induces an experience in the ethereal realm, right?
And it's also being utilized in a new sort of gay, new agey way for soy cats on the internet. So like, I tried the CIA gateway process and unlocked a new reality. And he's got a before and after where one side he looks a bit grey and finished, and the other one he's rejuvenated and completely charged by his new Kabbalistic findings. Do you know what I mean? It's so lame. But
yeah. So see, it says right here, creates communication between the left and right senses of the self and disturbs them. While wearing the God helmet, the user is usually subordinate to the self, and the right hemisphere intrudes into the awareness of the left hemispheric dominant self, causing what Persinger refers to as an inter-hemispheric intrusion, right? Kind of like the HemiSync thing, right? So that's basically what all of these things are doing, is basically confusing your brain, causing it to, I don't know if that's a appropriate term, but that's the best term I can come up for it, basically to short your brain out and send you into this other world.
yeah, your consciousness is both internal and external. Consciousness is something which, to be honest with you, isn't really a reference to someone's mind. It's more like your mind is a part of the consciousness. That's what it is, and the consciousness is ubiquitous. It's in all places. It's a super intelligence. It's sort of like, I would say, is an underlying. I don't know how to put it. It's like a dock that everyone sort of plays off. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was I understood it fully in a perfect way when I was on a DMT trip, and now I'm just trying to sort of like replicate my emotional understanding at the time, and it's hard. But we're not really our thoughts as such. You know what I mean? It's not really like that. And our thoughts they're from God. This is what all this is. It's hard to explain quickly. But consciousness.
You ever heard
yeah.
have you ever heard the saying that people don't have ideas, ideas have people?
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of that kind of a deal. Yeah.
When we get to the realm of the archetypes and we're talking about the noosphere, this is where you have these ideas, and these ideas are archetypal, but they haven't been made yet in our reality. But like, there's an invention for a super nuke one day. It already exists, but the idea needs to find the person. And that's what it is, So yeah, crazy shit. I've got a quick little clip here I want to show people. I'll go ahead, John. After you.
Yeah, this is real quick. I just want to read off. I was pretty much right. So it says modified helmet that incorporates solenoids placed over the temporal lobes. Excuse me. This device produces magnetic fields that Persinger describes as weak but complex, 1 microtesla. The pattern fluctuation in these magnetic fields is derived from psychological sources. For example, patterns that appear in EEG traces taken from limbic structures. The purpose of exposing magnetic fields patterned after neurophysiological sources, such as the burst firing profile of the amygdala, is to enhance the probability of activating the structure from which the signal was derived. The sessions are concluded with the subject seated in an acoustic chamber. The acoustic chamber is also a Faraday cage, shielding out all EMF emissions. and radiation except the Earth's magnetic field. Persinger reports that this shielding allows him to use the apparatus to investigate the effects of geomagnetism on the human brain. So that's how the
So
thing
the
works.
the amygdala is the amplifier, is what that is. And then there's a Faraday cage that goes around that prevents radio waves or whatever from coming in. But yet you can still send radio waves out. Is that what that's saying?
No, it's not sending radio waves out at all. What it's doing is creating a magnetic field through these solenoids around your head, basically, and then using those solenoids to pump different frequencies through that magnetic field and cause your brain, the left and right hemisphere of your brain, to basically sync up.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So we can look at this with some genuine red pills here. Okay, this is a cartoon that was modelled on the Sims video game, right?